Hello, everyone. I'm Bra Mithra. I'm once again joined by Jay. Hello, Jay.
Bruh, we're doing Black Friday stuff.
We are doing Black Friday stuff. All kinds of stuff happened for Black Friday. I hope everyone was able to get the stuff that they wanted. Black Friday, pretty good. Game was just actually on sale. Was good. The showdown board was actually on sale. But we're just going to talk about the new stuff.
Yes, new content.
Yes.
Same as old content, sometimes.
It was actually a pretty big one.
Sizable content drop. It was a sizable content drop.
So the first one we're going to talk about, which is the biggest one, which is the 15th anniversary Survivors.
Yeah.
The
Which
box is huge.
Yes, it's massive. I think this is the first run with their new higher definition printing, because these minis look amazing.
Yes, these minis look really good.
Like they showed off with the Screaming God during the Black Friday update.
Yes. Yeah, these are very good minis. Zachary's a big boy.
Yeah, Zachary's a little larger than a showdown tile, yes.
Yeah, Zachary is a little bit bigger in scale.
His base is like 40 millimeter.
Is it? Yeah, I was going to say it's like 35. I forget.
30, like 38-ish.
Yeah.
I think it's the number, but something like that.
Yeah, so it doesn't go on to other tiles. It will if you're playing on the board.
Yeah.
But not on the showdown board, so interesting. But all four of these are absolutely amazing. I've already built them all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're very good. I couldn't wait to get them. They're very good. They're really good. They're really clean. These are some of the best ones we've seen in a while. This might be my favorite 4-pack of minis.
Yeah.
Not my favorite individual minis, but these as a 4-pack, these are very quality ones.
I think like Alistair's the standout here, honestly.
I think
he's the coolest.
Yeah, I think Alistair and Urza are the two standouts. I really like Urza's because she's actually got an arrow in her hand, which is neat, which is unique. So I know they're starting to do that more. I think one of the ones from Ram, or one of the future expansions also showed survivors with arrows. So it's neat.
Yeah.
So very cool. These poses are really good. So again, it is the 4 main starting survivors, which is Urza, Lucy, Alistair, and Zach. The 15th anniversary versions, or
Lantern year.
Yeah, equivalent to what you would probably have in that Lantern year.
Well,
forced or not, because all this gear is locked behind 15 years.
Yes. Arbitrarily, one might say.
Yeah, maybe not, but maybe. Sometimes. But some gear is a little bit weaker than others, some gear is a little bit better than others. Some feels like you probably could get away using it earlier in Lantern Year 15. Some of it feels like it should definitely be Lantern Year 15, power-wise.
Some of it is basically as good as King gear.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about it. This added a lot. I just want to talk about the other stuff that you get, right? So it looks like these new bundles are probably going to be $75. We saw this happen. It didn't happen at Gen Con. But when Gen Con ended and Legendary Aya and Glow and Survivors of Death, the Gen Con releases, went on the official shop.
The MSRP was 75.
The MSRP was 75. At Gen Con they were 60. So,
I mean, that makes sense. Well, like the Gen Con being cheaper makes sense.
Yes, I just meant these also MSRP'd at 75.
Yes.
Now these, for that price, you get quite a bit here with 75th anniversary.
Yeah, it's 4 very, very nice minis and a bunch of gear, settlement extension, terrain. Yeah. New innovate.
Well, you also get 4 full art prints.
Yes, that I'm pleasantly... Well, I don't even want to say surprised, but that is a pleasant change from anniversary.
It's definitely new.
A very pleasant change. Those are... Because the designs are fantastic, so it's nice to have all of those.
Yeah, so what I mean by full art prints is they're 8.5 by 11. And in addition to getting the normal 4 by 8s, I forget what they are. Are they... Maybe there's... Yeah, 4 by 8s, I think, right? Or 5.5 by 8 by 9 or something like that. So you get the regular art cards, and then you get the full art. And then also the full art. So, and you get 4 of those, one for each survivors in the full art form. You don't just get one. So, Very cool. Like, in just to make a comparison, like the glow, you only got 3 art cards. You didn't even get all 4 of her art. So
Yeah, and 2 of them didn't match the minis, I think.
yeah, so just interesting stuff to think. I think the $75 mark for 15th anniversary is like
Maybe it matters, but I feel like they might have put a little more oomph into this one because it's the 15th anniversary release.
I agree. So very cool stuff.
Yeah, regardless, it's a fantastic release.
It is a very good release. We've now said that before we even reviewed it.
Well, I mean, cut the chase.
Yeah. We both think this is very good.
Yes.
No surprise, really, because 10th anniversary was pretty good. I always thought that was one of the better white boxes, even.
Yep.
So, where do we even begin? I guess we'll begin with this for...
Yeah, the Perfect Lantern, I think, was where we begin.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about how this works. So, what you're going to get is a settlement location extension.
Similar to Gigalion.
Yes, very similar to Gigalion. It is an extension to Blacksmith. Interesting thing is, well, we'll talk about that when how you get it, but it's a Blacksmith extension, and then you craft everything from there. So all the gear that you're getting with this is not patterns, not seed patterns, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, really cool stuff. And then it's a whole new method of getting these, right? So,
but yes.
Well, I meant for a white box. This first time, besides for the vignette, this is the first time we've gotten white boxes that have a location in it.
Yeah, as opposed to patterns or just crafting on the back.
Or just the crafting on the back. So, very cool. So, how you do this is it comes with a terrain and then an actual terrain tile.
Yes.
Which is the Perfect Lantern is the name of the terrain. The Perfect Lantern is you get a terrain card, obviously, but it's while you're adjacent to this, increase the range of your perfect hits by 1. It's a 2x2. It's a 1x2 tile.
Yeah, 1x2, like whatchamacallit, the pillars.
Yeah, so there's 6 ways to be adjacent to this. Facism keeps winning.
Yeah, I suppose so, huh?
Yeah, Facism. This is a really good one. So if you have Facism and you have the Tenant, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but the one that lets you redraw draw 2 and pick 1 terrain.
Yeah.
To add, you do definitely want to fish for this because the fact that you can get perfect hit increases is really good. And you just also want to harvest from it, even if we'll talk about the resource, but you also want to harvest from it. This is a very interesting harvestable location because unlike all the other harvestables like ore vein and acanthus, you just kind of do it right away. This has a benefit for staying on the board longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is destructible, so it's like a very risk reward thing.
No, it's a well designed little piece of terrain.
Yeah, you don't want to let it get destroyed. So you want to stand next to it, but you don't want to stand next to it to the point where a reaction is going to move the monster onto it.
Or a survivor could go careening through.
Yeah, you could get knocked into this. So you kind of want to let it sit around to get the benefit, but at the same time, you don't because it could get blow up.
Yes.
This is super cool. I really like this terrain. But then it has the interaction where you roll a d10 like all their harvestables.
+2 if you have Putz's favorite disorder, Hoarder.
Yep. Add +2 to the result if you have the Hoarder disorder. Each survivor may use this once per showdown.
It's like the Spidicules nest in that regard. Or
Yes.
Tree.
Yes. Well, the tree doesn't archive itself. So one...
But tree is once per showdown per survivor.
Yes. This could archive itself, though.
Yes.
So then you get a 1 to 3, you lose some evasion. 4 to 7, you gain some survival. And then 8+, you get the strange resource, and then it archives itself.
Yes. The pyrolytic light stranger resource. which is not named a perfect lantern, but
Well, that's fine. It should be perfect iron, though.
probably.
But I understand. Perfect iron's probably pretty powerful, so...
It doesn't exist yet, but it will, I'm sure.
Oh, no, there's perfect iron. King stuff is.
Isn't it perfect death metal?
It might be both. You might be right. It might be... Some of it might be perfect death metal, but anything that is an iron resource and perfect would be perfect iron.
Fair enough.
So...
But yeah, the pyrolytic light here is an iron strange resource. During the settlement phase, if it is Lantern Year 15 plus, and the settlement has a blacksmith, you may archive this resource to gain innovation bloomery. It glows lethargically.
Yep. Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
So this is how you get the innovation?
It's also an iron, so
Yeah, it's also an iron. That's really
you're gonna
good.
be needing it.
Really good.
Yep. But the bloomery innovation, which is just science, nothing else.
Yeah, it's not a consequence of anything.
Nope. You only get it from the resource.
Mm-hmm.
But for 2 endeavors, you add the Wrought Ironworks extension, the blacksmith, which is self-explanatory. And for 1 in a endeavor, you refine. Spend 1 iron and roll a d10. On 1 to 3, nothing happens. On a 4 plus, you may craft gear that requires sponge iron at the Wrought Ironworks extension for this lantern year, which we'll get into.
Yeah. We'll get into that pretty much right away. So, with this, it's going to cost 2 endeavors to add the Wrought Ironworks, the settlement location.
You don't. I'm honestly surprised you don't have to put resources into that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who knows how, you do have to get this resource, and
Yes.
then you do have to wait till Lantern Year 15, but you can't use it for anything, so I'm not that surprised that it's free.
Yeah, fair enough.
It is gated behind needing to also do this next thing.
Yes.
So, the spending of the iron. So this is a lot like oxidation, where you need to spend resources to even have an attempt to craft.
Yeah, to do the voltaic bath, or like Black Harvest for crafting with nightmare corn.
Yes.
And the vampire.
This is much closer to light forging and...
Not light forge,
or not,
oxidation.
No, I meant to say the other one. What's the other one you can only do when... Oh, Strange Caravan. You can only get those gear sets while that's taking place that 1 lantern year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Or I suppose you could archive a master key, because these are locked requirements.
you could.
Or you could get Perfect Slayer, but whatever.
So then, but once you get, unlike oxidation, where you need to keep making the tools to oxidize all the time, once you have, this is exactly like Nightmare Corn or the other ones that Jay was mentioning for the DBK. Once you have it going on this year, you can craft as much as you want because the gate will be open.
Yes.
Yeah. So the only other thing to note with Bloomery really is, again, it's not a consequence of anything. So this will never go on your innovation deck. So the only way to get it is via this resource.
Yeah, it's like the statue or Black Mask or Nightmare Agriculture, etc., etc.
Yeah. So, Wrought Ironworks has quite a bit of stuff here. It's got 6 gear. You get 7 gear cards, but it's got 6 different gear to craft here.
Yep.
Each one of them requires sponge iron, which is the lock. Again, you just have to do that 1 endeavor. You're probably always going to do that. You might want to wait till you do 2, but probably if you just want to make 1 thing, that's good enough. So you could just think of this as everything has an additional iron cost.
Yes. The more you craft, the bigger the discount on that iron is. But
Yeah.
These are expensive, so I don't think you're going to be crafting multiple.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be waiting around.
Yes.
I mean, it would be great if you fell into getting 2. Aside from maybe the spear, which is paired, you probably, when you can make 1, you probably just will.
Yes, especially one of them.
Yeah, I mean the mantle. We'll start with the mantle. This would be the one that you might make in addition to something because this is the cheapest.
It's the cheapest. The Wrought Lantern mantle, which is 1 iron and 3 leather and 2 hide. requires sponge iron, which is not that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It is item for metal. It's an accessory. It's 3 chest armor, blue up and green right, and for 2 green affinity and 2 blue affinity. Before making an attack, you may spend 2 survival to increase the perfect hit range of that attack by 1 once per round, which is a theme that you'll see going along.
Yes. There's a new keyword. We'll talk about that, but it's very self-explanatory.
Yes. Very good keyword. It's, or gear rule, technically speaking.
Yeah, and gear rule. You're right. Gear special rule is what I meant to say. But you'll see it. So yes, this is 2 survival once for the entire round.
Well,
you could increase
of that attack.
Yeah, well, yeah, for the entire round,
the attack.
You could do this once.
2 survival to gain 1 perfect hit range for that attack.
Yep. So if you were to surge,
that second attack doesn't get the bonus.
Yep. And you can only activate it once, so you can't spend like 4 survival to get 2 steps.
Nor could you spend it again on a second attack within the same round.
Yep. So this is just a 10%, it's just a flat 10% increase to your perfect hit range.
Yes. It stacks with Timeless Eye and the thing we'll get into.
Yeah.
But besides stacking it, this is kind of meh.
I think this one is also kind of meh, but it depends on what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Depends on what you're doing.
If you're perfect, then okay.
I think this is a perfect fit if you're going to be using one of these weapons.
Yes, or really any of these weapons, but yeah.
I think it's actually not that bad as just an accessory.
It's certainly better than a lion headdress, but
yeah, it's cheap enough to where, like, if you were really pushing to complete some affinities, I could see this being made. It's cheap enough. It's 3 body on an accessory is not too bad. So
it's fine.
Yeah. But you're really only using this to increase your perfect hit range, which is 100% on brand for this whole release. So,
yes.
Next, we're going to talk about the twinspears. The wrought twinspears.
Around a little bit.
Yeah. So these are melee, spear, finesse, metal. Yes, they are spears. They are paired, and they have no reach.
Promise. We didn't release another dagger, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely not a dagger. They are spears.
Yes.
This is what Lucy's using on her mini. They're paired, sharp, precision 1. Paired attacks with this weapon gain perfection 1. So
perfection is exactly what it sounds like.
Exactly what it sounds like. It's just increased the range of your perfect hits by 1.
Well, by X.
By X,
so
correct.
Yes.
It's perfection X is the new special gear rule.
Yes, and they are 1 speed, 5 plus accuracy, 5 strength, which is kind of middling.
Yeah, that's why I said this would be the only one where you probably wouldn't want to craft anything unless you're making both of these with sponge iron.
Because you really want that perfection to get the precision off, or
well, yeah, you just need them paired.
Yes.
You can't even get yeah. They have to be paired.
To get the precision off.
Yeah.
Which is on a perfect hit, the first X wound attempts are automatic crits.
Correct.
Which, yes, fizzles if there's no critical effect on that.
It's just like a founding stone. Yep.
Just like a founding stone.
So it means it would cause a failure reaction. All those things.
Risk reward. Bra doesn't like precision. I like precision.
It's not that I dislike precision. I think it's very niche. It's just not universally good. Like perfection is universally good, right? It lowers your perfect hit range. That's going to work on every monster, except for some. Same with the other one, persistence.
Persistence.
No, the survival one.
Yeah, persistence.
Persistence. That's also good because you're going to just gain survival. Precision is just, Butcher doesn't have any crits, so.
True, but
you're just going to.
The majority of hit locations do have crits.
Well, I meant.
Not every, obviously, but.
Well, I meant, sure, but with. Again, for monsters that have not high crit rates, like. Majority do. I know. I concede to that, but I'm just saying. it's just more niche because rolling against using these on Butcher or any other monster that doesn't have crits, like you can't crit Gambler without using its dice, right? So even though Gambler has crit effects, Precision's just going to fizzle and cause a failure. So you just you roll a perfect hit, now you've caused an automatic failure. It's just an accidental automatic failure. So it's not that I dislike Precision. Again, I like it. Verminism uses it. It's neat. It's just not universally always good.
Yes.
So
certainly not devastating too.
It's certainly not devastating.
This is what we call in literary world foreshadowing. It is also, I mean, it's green left and red down. Red down's fucking solid. It's hard to come by red down.
I'm glad these all have affinities on them. All these weapons do, except for the shield. But everything else does, which is good because these are, again, guaranteed to be 15 plus, right? There's no questions asked. You're only getting these little Lantern Year 15 plus.
Has to be. There's no speed running this Lantern Year 8.
Which is also technically your Lantern Year 16 hunt, or Lantern Year 15 hunt, because you're not getting these and then going, you know what I mean? Like you're rolling over from Lantern Year 14.
I mean, you could have saved a lot, archived the Lantern, and then immediately crafted something.
It's true.
So potentially, yes, you could have them on the Lantern Year 15 hunt, but it's unlikely.
Yeah. You could have. I guess if you know what, maybe if you knew you really wanted to use these and you did have that lantern, because you probably, with Faceism or just by random, it's not that highly unlikely that you'll draw it.
Yeah, of course.
But
it's not that bad.
Yeah, it is an investment. You're probably going to you're eating a whole Lantern Year worth of supplies doing this, probably.
Yeah, that's at least a level 2 hunt.
Yeah.
Worth of stuff per
for most of this,
craft here. Yeah.
So, not too bad. But again, I think the spears are interesting.
They're fine.
Yeah, I think they're fine because they are still sharp.
If they reach, they'd be really, really good.
Yeah. If they had reach, they'd be better. I think they're still fine. Spears are kind of like bows, where they're not always available. So
strange. It's just a sharp stick, but.
Well, I meant you have scrap bone spear, but if you're not using lion. If you're not using lion, Croc doesn't even have one.
Yeah, nor does Frog Dog.
Yeah, so, Phoenix doesn't. No, Phoenix does.
Phoenix does.
Lope doesn't is what I meant. It does, but Lope has the weird one. We have to wait till the level 3, but...
Well, it's a legendary AI, so it is in the potential for getting it level 2.
I was talking about Zells.
Well, yeah, but there's also Lance of Longinus.
Yeah. But yeah, so, having a good spear just as a staple in the game is good. Just like what we'll talk about now. We'll go right to the longbow.
Yes, the Wrought Longbow.
Yeah, this is actually like one of the... Is it the only universal bow?
Yes.
Yeah. So, that's cool.
Is there a seed bow? I don't think so.
I don't think there's a seed bow either.
I don't think there's a seed bow at all, much less a universal one.
The wrought iron longbow. This is ranged bow, two-handed finesse. It is I forgot to mention the twin spears are 155. That's literally what all spears are.
Yeah.
They're all like 5 strength, 5 something like that. So, but the longbow here.
The thing about the spears is as well, they each cost 1 iron, 2 leather, 2 bone, and a perfect bone.
Mm-hmm.
They're expensive.
Yeah, and you probably want them paired. That's what I mean. They're good, but they're not great because using it by itself, you can't even get perfection then because you just can't get it, and it doesn't have reach, so it's kind of taking away what you'd want
from a spear.
Yeah, it's not slow because they can be paired, so you can speed it up to 2. But
yeah. But yeah, the Wrought Iron Longbow is 1 iron, 5 bones, which is kind of steep, 2 organs, and 2 scrap.
Yep.
Which is...
But it is 279.
9 strength's good. 9 strength's real good.
This is good. We were comparing it earlier to Arcbow. I think that's a fair comparison.
Arcbow is 169 slow.
Yes. With 6 range, this has 7. But arcbow
Yes,
can go to
range.
8.
Asterisk. Yes.
Yeah.
If you activate the arcbow, it's range 8.
So this is
Whereas
cumbersome. Perfection 1, range 7. Again, perfection's just increasing your perfect hit. And then on a perfect hit with this, you gain movement at the start of your next act. Limit once per round.
so it's kind of a way to get around cumbersome eventually. Kind of.
Yeah, it lets you at least move with a cumbersome weapon. You still have to deal with cumbersome, but maybe not. Again, this is Lantern year 15. Maybe you just use this just with your bow guy, bow master.
Yeah, then you have 2 movements for whatever you want.
Yeah. Again,
Like it's just good stats, so
but as we just talked about, hard to get bows. This is the first universal bow.
it is.
So
That
hard
is-
to get bows. No bow from Lope. There's bow from Lion. There's bow from Croc.
level
So-
2 plus. Which
Yeah,
I mean, by Lantern year 15, you're hunting level 2 Crocs.
Yep. Smog didn't have any bow either. So
Phoenix
Spooter
does.
doesn't have a bow.
No, Dragon King does not, despite
Yeah.
having an arrow.
So bows are kind of a little bit gated. Harder. Like as the node system becomes more prevalent, and your options grow wider away from using the cat bow and using the croc bow all the time. Frog didn't have a bow. Frog had the whip though, but
Yeah, Frog has the whip scythe.
yeah. So amazing.
We don't know about B, but yeah.
But so yeah, this is good. Good bow.
It's definitely better than the spears. It's probably the most balanced of the release. It's like the most peak bell curve.
Yeah, I think this and the next one we're going to talk about are just good. They're just good. They're not bad. They're not great. They're good though.
They're very solid.
Yeah.
Wrought greatshield.
Yes, we'll talk about the Wrought Greatshield, which is weapon, shield, heavy, and metal. Add 2 to all hit locations. Oh, it's a 1-8-7, which is good for a
Solid
shield. Yeah. 1-8-7, and then just without any affinity at all. It's got no affinities, but this is just with on a perfect hit with any weapon in your gear grid, which is great wording. I love the wording of this. I absolutely love this wording because, again, if it just said on a perfect hit, deflect 1, that would mean you needed to use that shield to get that perfect hit.
Now, brah, when this says any, does that mean you have to pick one weapon in your gear?
No, it just means any weapon in your gear grid. So it means you could activate anything else and the shield will fire, which is good. I think that's great. I love this wording. So,
yeah.
it's really cool. Limit once per round, but you don't deflect's fine. You don't really need to deflect more than once per round.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't. There is no way to
Block
just spend
or
activation
deflect with
to
this shield.
deflect or block. But that's just kind of something that you have in there. It gives you the passive 2 armor, and then when you hit those perfects with, I'm assuming, these other weapons because they have perfection,
Yeah,
you'll deflect for free.
or just anything. Perfect hits
Yeah.
are, sometimes you just get them,
Yes,
and getting
true,
deflect
but
is just good, right?
it's easier with perfection. But yes,
Well, I just meant like, I make leather shields and just bring them on people because it's good,
true.
right? You don't need to always block with the leather shield. You might just put it on your melee guy because you have an open space. If you made this and you just,
Yeah, can't go wrong.
yeah, and then it's just hey, I perfect hit just by chance and now I get to deflect.
Yeah, no, it's obviously better than Beacon Shield. I don't know if it's better than Oxidized Beacon Shield, but it's better than Beacon Shield.
Yeah, it's up there. I think it's comparable. Because again, you're not gonna put this on your tank because you can't just stand there and block then,
Correct.
which is what you want to be doing. But
You're on your DPS who you don't
yeah,
want to
your
die.
DPS, like I said, if you just lucked into perfect hits, even if you just had time assigned somebody, or you were wearing the lantern mantle just by chance or something, using another one of these weapons again, yeah, that's what it's going to go well with. But hey, maybe you got shield ring and you want to throw this around.
You can, yeah.
Sometimes
No
you just
armor.
want a shield ring, Jay.
It is 7 strength.
Yeah.
So throwing that at a monster's mouth would be really not bad.
Yeah. Just let me shield ring, okay?
Alternatively, you could pair it with the next weapon,
Yes. You.
which is Zach has the right idea.
Yes. Let's talk about the next weapon, Jay. You want to talk about the wrought sledge?
Well, we're talking about the Wrought Sledge. The Wrought Sledge is 2 iron, 3 leather, 4 bone, and 1 perfect hide. It is a weapon melee, club, finesse, for some reason, heavy metal. 1 speed, 4 plus accuracy. 4 plus accuracy.
4 plus accuracy.
10 strength.
Yep.
Glow and perfection 2 on a club.
On a club, no less. Yep.
It is red left and right, and activated with a red puzzle, a red affinity, and a blue affinity. On a perfect hit with this, your first wound attempt, this attack gains devastating 2.
Devastating 2. My gosh.
Club. On a club that is absurd.
Yes. A club that's meant to go with Lantern. That hits on a 4 plus.
Yes, a club that is meant to go with Lantern, where you get +2 accuracy from the gauntlets.
Yep.
And sharp.
And sharp.
And then you're a club master, so if you double the monster's toughness, you do an extra wound. So that's 4 wounds right there.
You do 4 wounds, yep.
Alternatively, you throw this on a bullfrog set.
Oh, what's the bullfrog set do, Jay?
The bullfrog pants give your clubs surpass 10.
That they do.
Or, well, your heavy weapons, which this is.
Yep.
Surpass 10.
Yep.
Which is now a potential on a club master. On a perfect hit, which you're doing on 8 plus, by the way. 7 if you have Timeless Eyes, 6 if you also have the mantle.
Yep.
You double your wound attempt from club specialization.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're probably going to surpass 10 because...
Probably. Yeah, probably. Most monsters
that's
probably.
5 wounds. That's 5 wounds.
Yep.
Potential.
Yep. Fair to say this is pretty good.
I'm saying it's pretty decent, bro.
This is pretty good. This is a pretty good weapon, I would say.
It's certainly not bad.
Certainly not bad. It's almost like
the new best club.
Let's say
whatever.
Let's say you had Cat Eye Circlet, right? And you were looking at 3 safe hit locations, right?
Yep.
And then you just pass the round with everybody and just tank the monster. How many wounds you doing with that slow club?
About a few.
You're doing a few. Was it 10 plus?
About a few wounds, bro.
I mean, this would still be good with Devastating 1.
It is gross with Devastating 2.
Yeah, with Devastating 1, we'd probably still be having the same conversation, in all honesty, but this is Devastating 2.
Just 4 wounds potential instead of 5 wounds.
So this is nuts. This sledge is really good.
This has firmly, in my mind, dethroned the Gloomhammer.
Gloomhammer, yeah.
Can still do stupid shit with with monster controller.
Mm-hmm.
But for actual gameplay use, this is the best club in the game. Like, I guess the Regicider, sure, but
yeah,
like,
king stuff.
That's a Node 4 Indomitable resource.
This is the best universal weapon in the game.
Yes.
Easy. This is the best non-node, rare gear.
You always have access to this because you always have access to blacksmith so far.
Yeah. So.
It's a little gross.
Yeah. Really good.
Why backwards in the art, but yeah.
We have 1 left.
This is the cool one.
I agree. Well, they're all. I mean, there's a lot of these are cool.
Yes, but this is. I like this one a lot.
This was a surprise. Not a surprise once we saw the art, but getting another katana is cool.
Yes.
Especially a universal katana.
Yeah, especially one that you can craft in People of the Sun. Yes.
Yeah.
The tachi is a weapon melee katana, 2-handed finesse metal. What does it cost? It costs a black lichen, which is not that bad. It costs 2 iron, 1 black lichen, 3 hide, and 4 organ. All these require sponge iron. We said that from the outset. Which is a 4 plus on the bloomery. I don't know if we said it was 4 plus. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, you're gonna re-roll it. I don't think if yes.
You'll Crimson Jewel that.
You're gonna re-roll it. You could just wait like until you, if you really were worried about it and you wanted to make a guarantee, just wait for like the sun one. Not lights in the sky is what I meant.
Sky.
Yeah.
You can train that by throwing 4 people to Lion God, but whatever.
Yeah. So I don't think it's. I don't think it's. You're never gonna not be able to do this.
Yes.
If you really want to do it, just blow a reroll and get it.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 speed, 6+ accuracy, 4 strength, perfection, 1 and sharp. It's blue left and a red up. And with blue and a red affinity. On a perfect hit with this, specifically with this, even whatever. The monster gains -2 accuracy tokens until the end of its turn once per round. It's good.
Yep, I agree. This is good.
It's well, all of this plays with perfect hits, but it works with katana proficiency from Sun because it's perfect hits.
Yep. Well, not from Sun, just from Sunstalker.
Yeah, Sun Stalker. My bad.
Yeah, because you can get it via a level 2. I forget what is it. Edge Geometry is a level 2 reward from killing a Sun.
Storytelling from a land level 2+.
Yeah. So yeah, you can still get it.
Yes. But yeah, it's just good. It's good. It's sharp. It's got half decent strength, half decent accuracy. Yeah, why not? It gets around Keen. Right, Keen is the
Keen.
atmosphere.
Yep, Keen's the thing that lowers your evasion. Doesn't increase the monster's accuracy, so.
Yeah, well, it doesn't lower your evasion. It's the monster ignores your evasion.
Yeah, it just gets right around your evasion.
But yeah, no, this is the cool one. It's not as disgusting as the sledge, but I like it a lot.
Yep. I agree. I like this one a lot. I think it's cool to have a katana in the main game.
Yeah, so a very generic, craftable.
You do need Sun Stalker to get katana proficiency, but I think even without, this is still good.
Yeah, and it's katana proficiency is a novel proficiency. It's not like life that you just put in.
True.
In case you doesn't know.
It's locked, or whatever they want to call it.
I assume it would be referred to as a novel proficiency nowadays, but yes.
Yes. It's like Twilight Sword. You can't select it. You gotta get it via something. Cleaver.
Got it.
Novel sword, like you said. Yep. Very cool. I really like this one as well. I like the perfect hit -2 accuracy. I think this is another one where you might just want to use the lantern mantle because it's strong enough to want to proc it. I think besides for the sledge and the sledge and the tachi are the ones you'd want to use the lantern mantle for. I don't think you're making the lantern mantle if you're going to use the bow or the shield or the spears.
Yeah, unless you're doing like weird perfect hit stuffs with counterweight axe or whatever.
Yeah.
The mantle is mostly for the sledge and the tachi if you want to play into those.
Yep, I agree. So it's nice. I mean, it would have been cool to maybe if we could have got 2 of all these cards because none of them are restricted to. None of these are unique and none of them are restricted by patterns for a craft limit. So it would have been neat to get 2 of every card, 2 tachis. I know you probably won't make 2 tachis. You won't probably make 2 longbows. You might make 2 sledges. You might. They're kind of crazy. But just because you might actually, like, I might make 2 greatshields. Why not? They're pretty good. They're pretty good. You probably would make 2 lantern mantles.
Yeah.
Just because, again, because of the way sponge iron works, you want to be making more if you're going to do it.
It discounts your iron investment.
Yeah, so it would have been nice to just get an extra great shield and an extra mantle, at least. Those are the ones you probably would make 2 of, especially if you're going to use the tachi and the sledge. Then you would probably want 1 for both. You can always proxy, but it would have been nice.
I would absolutely want to run the sledge, great shield, and mantle together, and then I would definitely want the tachi and mantle as well.
You're just full-blown zacking it.
Well, you got to zack it up sometimes. He's a big man, and sometimes I want to feel like a big man. But yeah, that's the 15th Annie stuff. I was 8 15 years ago. You're all old.
This was really good. I really like this release.
I think it's the best release since Survivors of Death.
Yes, we talked about this one for a lot. There was a lot in here, So this 15th, so they reprinted 10th anniversary survivors recently. One, because hopefully we get those seed patterns and stuff in the card pack. So one, because they needed to make them seed patterns, but two, because I think the intent is to keep some white boxes always in stock. Not all of them, but the indomitable ones and echoes, and probably these two, 10th and 15th Annie. Probably are ones you want to see pretty much always in stock. Probably Survivors of Death too. I don't know if they'll always do Glow and Aya. They might do printings on those.
Maybe.
Again, but you never know. But I feel this one will be one of those ones that they'll try to keep in stock all the time, based on the fact they did do a reprint of 10th.
Yes.
So what we're going to do...
I don't think we'll be adding scrap bone spirit in these crafting recipes.
You don't think?
No.
Melt down some rebar?
Imagine they added rebar to the Wrought twinspears.
But so because of that, there's some more releases for Black Friday. We got Percival and Aya to talk about. But because this one is, I believe, these are probably going to be always something that you could probably pick up. We're going to make this its own video. That way, years from now, you won't get bogged down clicking on a Sun Aya video when you're only looking for this part of the review.
So our future Lantern Year 30 rolls around, and you want to see what was up in Lantern Year 15.
Yeah. So for pure algorithm's sake and seek or help for everybody to get this in the future, this will be its own video because it was a long one, and we will now continue to talk about the beta, which was Priestess Percival in part 2 and Sun Aya in part 2. So thank you for joining me, Jay.
Thank you as always for having me.